everyone. Assalamualaikum. I am super excited and I can't wait for the 21st of November this year, 3 to 4 p.m. because that's when all of you can join me in my online session with the title of Power Words, the Secret to Persuasive Communication. Now trust me, this is not a session that you want to miss. I guarantee you, if you join my session, you're going to learn the simple secret yet very effective in making us into or transforming us into someone who is more assertive in our communication, yet not sounding arrogant, more convincing in the ways that we try to persuade people with our ideas, with our thoughts, and many more. Trust me guys, it works like magic. So join the session and come out of the session as someone who's able to convince and persuade people through communication in almost a magical way. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Okay, we are live.
All right.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's already 3 p.m. Everybody, good afternoon. Dah makan tengah hari, apa macam. So, this is our third slot for today. Siapa lagi kalau bukan dengan Sifu Izmas?
Sifu.
Mana Sifu? Sifu. Whoever occasion Sifu, they automatically get that title.
Alright.
Yes.
Sifu ke Sipu?
Arfan Sipu.
Dia jadi Sipu.
Dia Sipu. Okay, Ro. Are you ready? So, over to you.
Alright, thank you. First and foremost, before I start sharing my slide, Assalamualaikum semua. Thank you very much for joining either the Zoom session live right now as well as FB Live. I know I really appreciate this. Why? Because this is 3 p.m. on a Saturday. Okay, and weather dekat luar aku kalau tidur ni best. So I really appreciate all of you for making time to go through this session with me. Okay, and what we are going to talk about is on what is known as power words, and I subtitle it as the secret to persuasive communication. All right, the secret to persuasive communication. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my slides, but for everyone here, whether you are in Zoom or on FB Live, I'm a very casual trainer, so whenever you ada soalan, all right, if you are on FB Live, just post your questions over there. Or if you are in Zoom, feel free. You can use the chat punya feature, okay? Or if you are in a quiet environment, don't worry. You don't even need to mute your mic. I can see that quite a few of you are in a quiet environment, so don't mute your mic. I would prefer to hear your responses as we go through the session, of course. Okay. All right. Let's start. We don't have too much of time, just a 1 hour session. Okay, let me just check that everyone can see the slide over here. Betul?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kat. Okay, once again, Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to this session, okay, part of the Sifu Time Live trainer, what do we call that, Saiful? Trainer showcase on with the theme of online learning transformation, the new norm. Okay, and I think how many trainers have presented? Yeah, Saiful?
All together hari ni dah 12.
Okay, so 12 trainers dah present on various topics, and just to highlight, especially for those of you first time joining a session like this one. Now this session is created for everyone, basically, for probably 2 reasons. One is to share our content as what we normally run in our training programs. Kalau dulu sebelum CMCO and all that, of course, classroom program, okay, face-to-face in the classroom. But while we are covering a certain topic, so that 12 trainers with 12 different topics, and this is another one. So what we are trying to also show, I believe that is the objective of this showcase, that whatever that we can carry out in the classroom sebenarnya can be carried out online as well. We should no longer use, sebab a lot of people tend to compare an apple to an orange. That is the problem right now. To compare what normally happens in the classroom and to compare what happens in the online training that's not fair. You cannot compare apple and orange in that manner, because obviously it is different, okay? But what we are trying to showcase through the series of online trainings here is that it can be done. Of course, the method probably will be slightly different, okay? Using the features, apps that's available online. But effectiveness is maintained because the content will be able to be delivered. People can still do workshops. People can still present and all that. Okay. So just to share, especially for those young first time join this series. Okay. Tomorrow is the last day, right, Saiful? Yeah, tomorrow will be the last day. There are a couple of other trainers that will be presenting tomorrow. So back to where we are right now. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe you are interested with what I'm going to talk about. Okay, you should be interested because this is, I believe, really important for all of us. Power words, the secret to persuasive communication. Okay, I'll go more into this one later. But since this is probably the first time for many of you that we are meeting dekat sini, so please allow me first to introduce myself. Yeah, hold on, my slide is stuck right now. Give me a second, guys. All right. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, this is my name. Okay. Memang panjang berjela. Okay. Who am I? Yang orang yang cukup tak suka mengisi borang. That's me. Okay. It takes me forever to fill up forms. But this is my real name, whether I like it or not. Okay. I've been living with this name. Pronunciation is Ismas Nizam Jesmach Aziz bin Ismet Aziz. AZYZE is pronounced as Aziz. Somehow or other, I was born in a family that carries a family name. So Aziz is the family name. Okay, but if you think my name is long, okay, I met someone 24 years ago, right? Another Malaysian that I met 24 years ago, yang nama dia lagi panjang than my name. And allow me, I remember his name. So allow me to share his name. This is his name. All right. Okay. Obviously, it is my son, Erfan Hamad Aziz bin Ismas Nizam Jesmach Aziz. Sama juga live his life complaining about filling up forms and all that. So this one time, he came and complained to me because he had to fill up a lot of forms in school on that particular day when he was much younger. Obviously, he's 24 now. And then don't complain lah, why, and he used, you know, why did you give me such a long name? You know, it makes my life difficult, so on and so forth. As a father, I just smile, relax. I look at him and I said, son, I have suffered all my life. Now it's time for you to suffer. That is common, right? Okay, we parents always want to pass our suffering to our kids, but worry not about our long names. Everyone in my life call me by this name, Ismas, right? So in our short meeting today for a period of about 1 hour here, and inshallah, if there's an opportunity for us to meet again in the near future, so Ismas it is, okay? And who am I? I actually represent this company, okay? We are actually a training provider, okay? And I represent this company. And the name of the company is a 100% Malaysian company with a French name, believe it or not. Okay, a lot of people ask me, Ismas, how come the company's name is French? My only answer is, why not? Okay, but there's a reason why we choose this French word. Now, the pronunciation in French would be conseiller. All right, conseiller. And conseiller in French means counselor or advisor, or as a verb, to advise or to counsel. And that's the reason, because quite a few of us in the company, our background is very much in communication, in language. So we love to play with language. Okay, so what we call as the language play. So that's the reason why we call the company that. But in Malaysia, we know lepas dah register the company, menyesal pun ada juga because the pronunciation in French. Because the pronunciation in French is Cossier Consulting. And the worry is that you guys will bump into me somewhere in KL after viewing me here. Dia cakap, ni Ismas kan? Cossier. And probably my answer will be Cossier ke aku yang sier. Alright. So in Malaysia, we tend to pronounce it as Consiler Consulting. Alright. So most of our clients, our associates, our trainers, our participants know us more as Consiler Consulting locally in Malaysia. Okay. So and we are based in Arah Damansara, Selangor lah basically. Alright. Somewhere close to Subang Airport. Okay, now 3 p.m. on a Saturday is always, we always say this. This is the time that any trainers or probably all trainers in the world fear the most, okay? After lunchtime, to make it worse is on a weekend, on a Saturday. And I would be surprised that, you know, people are sleepy, people are tired, and people just want to chill right now. Let's start with this one. I'm going to ask all of you, okay? You can respond on the comment section there for FB Live. For those of you in Zoom, you can respond either verbally or you can write down your answer in the chat section. What is your energy level right now? Between, forget about 0, okay? Okay, if you use 0, you won't be here. That's for sure. Between 1 to 10, what is your energy level right now? Okay, or those of you in Zoom, probably just shout out your answer. Between 1 to 10, what will be your energy level? Come on, guys.
6.
Okay, 6.
7.
7.
6.
8.
Kita 8.
Kita 8 juga. Alright, anyone else? Okay, now what other answers do we get there? On FB dengan on Zoom, any other answers?
8, 5.
Okay, ada 5 eh?
Sini.
Okay, right.
8, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 7.
Oh, ada 4 juga. Okay, now I'm already worried. Okay, I'm already worried with the answers that's given. Okay, first, now ada typical Malaysian dalam group kita ni. Okay, now if you want to know whether you are what we call as the typical Malaysian, which one would you be? Those of you yang gave us this answer just now. 5. Alright, now I won't be surprised kenapa you pilih 5 tadi. Oh, energy level aku tak tinggi, energy level aku tak rendah, trainer tu tak boleh buat apa kat aku. Probably that's the reason why we chose 5. Okay, 5 is not a decision. Okay, a typical Malaysian answer most of the time. Who's the number 5 dekat our office? Those people yang selalu kata, apa-apa je bos, saya ikut je. Alright, siapalah saya. Okay, that's the number 5 people as we call it in our organization. Okay, and then there were some of you just now on Zoom particularly that responded with the numbers were high numbers. I dengar 6, 7, 8 just now. Tapi again, I don't trust you because in English, there is this expression. It is not what you say that is important, but it is how you say it. So example, if someone's energy level is 8, okay, that's a high number though, all right? When you say the number, it should have sounded like this, 8. That is energy level 8. Ni tadi ada juga yang macam jawab, 8. 8-nya high, okay? So I don't trust the numbers that you have given me, all right, for that reason. And the worry is that kejap lagi ramailah yang rupa macam ni in front of the laptop or in front of the phones wherever you are. So let's do a little bit of an energizer first before we look at what I really want to share with you about power words, okay? So let's energize a little bit. But this time around, since our focus is on communication, on language, basically, so we are not going to do physical energizers. We're going to do something like a language energizer, and I call it simply as adjective me. All right, adjective me. Now, what I would like everyone, please participate, as active as possible as you go through the program. All right, remember, when we are involved, when we are engaged, and that's how we learn, that's how we remember. Because when you engage with whatever I'm saying or whatever I'm doing over here, that creates that more meaningful experience during this session. When you go through a meaningful experience, only then we will remember. And that is not enough, not just to remember, but to know how to practice it as well. Okay, but let's do this. Just as an energizer, adjective me. What I would like all of you to do, there are some samples over here, okay? I would like you to choose one English adjective that is, however, the rule is that it must be a positive adjectives, all right? And remember, what are adjectives? Adjectives are words to describe a noun, and we are using our name now as the noun, okay? So choose a positive adjective that rhymes with your name. Forget about writing on your name tag or plate there. Choose a positive adjective that rhymes with your name, okay? And rhyme means making the same sound, or at least almost the same sound. So earlier, remember, if you look at this one, if someone's name is Sarah or Sarah, so splendid Sarah. So the sound in front of splendid and the sound in front of Sarah rhymes with each other, okay? Outstanding Osman, fantastic Farah, cooperative Kamal. Although cooperative starts with the C, it's pronounced with the K sound. So that is the meaning of rhyme, okay? So that it rhymes with your name. So everyone, very quickly, think of a positive adjective. Tak payahlah Google list of adjectives. Look at your name, all right? Example, if your name is Saiful, you're looking for an adjective, a positive one that starts with the S sound probably to rhyme with your name. Okay, now those of you yang cannot verbally mention it, okay, especially who's viewing on FB Live, you can just write down at the comment section over there. Those of you on Zoom, rather than using the chat feature, I would really prefer if you just say out your names over there. We have a couple of people at the moment. So those of you who are here, can you please share your adjective? Basically, just introduce yourself. So probably people in FB Live would love to know who's in the session as well over here in Zoom. So, okay, anyone would like to start?
Okay, let's answer.
Okay.
Is it Sassy Salwa?
Oh, nice one. Sassy Salwa. I like that adjective. Sassy Salwa.
Joyful John.
Joyful John. Hi, John.
Super Saiful.
Super Saiful.
Like super,
yeah, he
super
is
fan.
that for the last 1 week, running the whole thing and managing and making sure everything happens. Okay.
Okay.
Well
Creative
done,
Kyril.
Creative Kyril. Nice one. What about yours, Kat?
This one is fantastic.
Wow, that is slightly different. Okay, mesti nak buat lain daripada orang minta. Fantastic. Okay, but I like
would
that.
say fantastic cat.
Fantastic cat. Okay, oh, you combine it in that way. Alright. Dia memang kadang-kadang kita dapat student yang tak dengar cakap. Okay, kita suruh buat benda lain, dia buat benda lain. Itulah life as a trainer.
Okay. I change.
Okay.
Cool cat.
Cool cat. Alright, cool. Alright, thank you very much, everyone. Now, just to share with...
ada lagi PC.
Sorry, yes.
Yes,
carry on.
Dear Diana.
Dear Diana, okay.
Okay.
Nice one.
Surprise City.
Surprised City.
And beloved band. Oh no.
Oh, beloved band. Yes, Saiful, I think you want to share a few as well.
Nah, dia dekat Facebook ni.
Okay.
Creative Kelvin.
Well done, Kelvin.
Dengan Brave BB.
Brave BB.
Aha.
Okay, cool. Nice one. Now, just to share with everyone, although this is just an energizer for this session, to tell you the truth, we use this energizer a lot in our program. Example, one of the programs that we do conduct, we conduct a lot of soft skills development program. And one of the programs that we conduct is iMastery. iMastery is pretty much the mindset change, confidence building kind of program. And we have this kind of activity inside there, this kind of energizer. And then we get everyone to share, just like how all of you did. Well done. Thank you very much for participating. And after everyone has shared their adjective and their name, we normally, or I normally say this: whatever adjective that you have chosen for your name just now, be that. Now, this is part of mindset change and about confidence building. Whatever positive adjective that you have used just now, that you have, for whatever reason, chosen to rhyme with your name, start being that. Okay? Because if you are not already that, be that. If you say you are super, be super all the time. If you say you are outstanding, be outstanding all the time. Turn that into who you are. When in fact it's just that, because when we do that, our brain will just believe whatever we tell the brain. So the brain will believe that we are that kind of a person. Okay, whether it's honest something, whatever it may be, just be that. Okay, so all right, thank you everyone for sharing that. So like I said, it's just a short energizer, and let's go straight into what I really want to talk about, which is communication in relation to power words. All right, now probably let's start with this. If I were to pose this question to everyone, what is your understanding of what is communication? Or probably, how would you define communication? Okay, again, you can write it down in the chat or comments section, or for those of you in Zoom, feel free to share as well. Anyone? What comes to your mind when we talk about communication?
Two-way communication.
Two-way communication. Thank you very much, Kat. Okay, so we've heard that communication is always a form of two-way communication. All right. Anyone else?
From the chat. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Nurul Fatia said interacting with other person.
Interacting with other persons. Okay, so that's that again, two-way. So it's not just one person talking to himself or herself. All right.
Okay. Saiful said interaction between two individuals.
Okay, or more. That's possible as well.
Diana said conveying message to the other person.
Okay.
Ben said deliver and receive information.
Thank you.
Sharifah Salwa said message convey from one to another.
Okay.
And Nurul Fatia said sending message through different medium, verbally, written, etc.
All right, wonderful. Well, you guys know what communication is. And hold on, when did we learn all these meanings or aspects of communication? Most likely when we were still in school, most likely when we were in college. There's always like, you know, there's the sender of the message, there's the receiver of the message, and then there's the process in which we transfer the message to the receiver. And sometimes in the process of transferring the message, sometimes they can be distractions, sometimes they can be interruptions, for instance. Okay, so that I would, all that you have said just now, everyone, firstly, thank you very much. I love the responses. But I would consider them as the more conventional definition of communication. All right, the more conventional communication. They are true, they are right. I'm not saying they are wrong, but the definition is more conventional rather than the more modern or present one. What I would like to share with everyone is how NLP, I think a lot of people, we've had a session on NLP recently here. Now NLP means neuro-linguistic programming, okay? Now NLP has in a way redefined communication, and probably it looks simple, okay? And they redefine communication as this. Communication is the response that you get, okay? I repeat, communication is the response that you get. Looks like a very simple redefinition of communication, but this actually says a lot, okay? In what sense? Communication is the response that you get. So in other words, what NLP is saying is this: if you communicate with someone, okay, and that person doesn't do what you actually ask that person to do, all right, or misunderstood what you tell that person, that means communication has not taken place, or at least the communication is not effective. Okay, I give you an example. You ask for a particular document from another department. Okay, you ask for a particular document because the document holds some data that you need most likely, and you request for that document from that neighboring department, okay, within your organization. But when you expect to receive the data or the document, you still don't receive it. Now, NLP says, before you blame that person for not paying attention to the communication, for not meeting your expectation and all that, NLP says, check your communication first. For all you know, in your communication, it was just a request for the document without any deadline mentioned inside there, okay? Without any urgency sort of like in there as well, okay? The receiver of the message did not see that the matter is urgent. So communication is the response that you get. What I love about this redefinition of communication is this: the ownership on the success or failure of communication, okay, falls back on us, the sender of the message. So we have to be really careful, and we have to ensure every time we communicate, people will give the responses that we expect them to give. The response can be simply a verbal response, can be a non-verbal response, or can be some form of action that they are required to do. Okay, communication is the response that you get. Example. As I go through the session, probably I'll crack some jokes. Okay, I'll crack some jokes. Probably I'll insert some humor in the presentation. Then suddenly I realize people don't laugh. Okay, whatever jokes that I make in here, people don't laugh at the jokes. Now, I cannot blame you for not laughing. Okay, I cannot blame you for not laughing. Why? Because probably my joke was lousy. Okay, maybe the punchline, I missed the punchline. So I'm not getting the responses that I expect from all of you. Okay, so let's pay a bit more of attention to this probably newer redefinition of communication to focus more on the response that we get. Okay, right. Now, in relation, since we are talking about communication, I would like to share this. This is by Albert Mehrabian. Okay, now Albert Mehrabian says that when we communicate, okay, even like now, although we are not really physically face-to-face in that sense, okay, we actually use 3 channels of communication when we communicate. Now, what are the 3 channels of communication? The first one would be words, okay? Obviously, as I'm talking to all of you right now, words are coming out through my mouth, okay? And of course, words would have their meanings as well, okay? So this is the first channel of communication. The second channel of communication is intonation. All right, intonation. Now, if you realize, BM has a totally different intonation from English. Arabic has a totally different intonation than BM and English, for instance. Now, that is intonation. Remember earlier, I gave the expression, it's not what you say, it's how you say. So basically, how you say things is with regard to intonation. Now, let me check with everyone. Do you love music? Yes, I can see a lot of people are nodding. What is it in music that makes us attracted to music? Anyone?
The melody.
The melody. Okay, well done. The melody, the rhythm, the beat. Okay, we are attracted. Doesn't matter what kind of music you love to listen to, whatever genre you love to listen to. It can be R&B, it can be rap, it can be jazz, it can be dongdang sayang for if you like that. But all of them have different sets of rhythms, beats, melody, beats. Okay, sorry, I've mentioned beats. Okay, so that's another expression that I came across earlier in my life that says this: if we love music for those reasons, because they have beats, rhythm, melody, and all that, then if we want people to love us, then when we communicate with people, we must have those things as well. But don't get me wrong, you guys, I'm not saying to the extent of singing instead of talking to people. Definitely not, all right? But there must be that stress points, okay? There must be that stress points when we are talking. Simple, guys. Remind yourselves of the times when you were still in college or studying last time. I won't be surprised there were lectures that you hated going to, not because of the subject, but most likely because the lecturer, when he or she delivers the lecture, they tend to be monotonous in the delivery of the lecture. Okay, so people are not attracted, the ear or people's ear are not attracted to listen to something that is monotone or monotonous in that sense. So to have that rhythm when we speak. And the third one is physiology. All right, although the spelling is with an S in the middle there, we pronounce it as physiology. Probably a word that is not terribly used, especially here in Malaysia. Can you guys guess what's the meaning of physiology? What's the term that is more common in Malaysia that we use? Anyone?
Body language.
Thank you, Kat. Body language. Okay, body language. So physiology is just another term for body language. So probably after this, don't use body language anymore, because when it comes to English, we always say we want more vocabulary. Okay, so what's the use of being introduced to a new vocabulary and not using them? Okay, so from now on, when you are at the office, for instance, I mean later after CMCO, and you see a colleague of yours, okay, sitting and slouching in his chair, for instance, so go to that person, janganlah cakap, bro, jaga sikit body language. No, don't use body language anymore. Bro, jaga sikit physiology. So dia pun, physiology apa benda tu? Oh, kau tak attend si full time punya session hari tu. Waktu tu kau ni malas sangat nak attend program-program macam tu, okay? So physiology means body language. But actually there's another reason why we prefer to use physiology. Because many Malaysians, we realize that when we talk about body language, many Malaysians tend to think that it starts from here. From the neck below is the body. Okay, when in fact the term body language actually means from head to toe. And if you ask me, in terms of communication, this is probably one of the most important part of the body language or physiology that we have to manage well. A lot of people, when they speak, they sound arrogant. Simply, you know why? Simply because when they speak, they don't smile as they speak. All right? Saying the same passage with a smile and saying the same passage without a smile can make you sound very different. And the meaning that you are putting across, or rather the implicit meaning that you are putting across, can sound really, can be really different. Okay. Now, Albert Mehrabian conducted this study, and basically he asked these questions. If it's true that these are the three channels of communication that we use in communication, now channel mana yang the most important? Basically, katalah we want to assess a successful communication, okay, over 100%, and we want to divide that 100% over these three channels. Now, which channel carries the most significance in effective communication? Now, believe it or not, based on Albert Mehrabian's research, it shows that the words that we use in communication only carry 7% of the total success or achievement of a communication. Only 7%, okay? Now, intonation that we use in our communication carries a higher percentage, 38%. Now, let's go back to the idiom or expression that I used earlier. It is not what you say that is important, but it is how you say it. Okay? So, notice that, guys. WhatsApp messages. I'm sure for those of you who are experienced, who have lived your life and using WhatsApp in communication, senang to happen miscommunication when you are just texting each other. Okay? because it's a simple message probably. Kat mana? Okay, the message is probably in bahasa pasar BM, kat mana. And kat mana are the two words. Dekat mana. Those are the two words everybody probably use at the same time. But now when people read that one, people read the message, now they will assume the intonation. Now is the intonation manja mengada? Kat mana? Or is the intonation kat mana? Okay, it can be either or because the implicit meaning, the emotions will come particularly through intonation. So 7, 38. So physiology berapa persen guys? Tak payahlah keluar kalkulator. Tengok Saiful tengah mengira tu. Okay, I'll give the answer. 55% of the effectiveness of communication actually comes from our facial expression, our gestures, okay, our body language, in other words, okay? And there's another idiom, another expression in English, okay? And what I'm trying to share here is that idioms are not created out of the blue. It's based on people's observation. And in English, there is this idiom or expression that says this: action speaks louder than words. Obviously, 55%. Body language, physiology is all about action, okay, all about movements, and action speaks louder than words. Now, we've heard this, I think, many times in our lives kot. Daripada sekolah rendah kot dah dengar dah. Action speaks louder than words. But let's do this, okay? Let's do a simple activity. Everyone, put up your finger like this, your pointing finger. Now, place your pointing finger, tunjuk dekat your muka, jauh sikit. Okay, simple, yeah? Okay, now everyone is doing that. Okay, wonderful, I can see that. Okay, simple instruction. Do what I tell you to do. I repeat, yeah? Do what I tell you to do. Okay, ready everyone? I'm going to give a simple instruction in English. I hope you don't mind. Again, the instruction is do what I tell you to do. Okay, ready everyone? You can see my finger as well, right? Okay. Okay, everyone, point to your chin. Where is your chin? Okay, your chin is here. Okay, I see most of you just now when I said point to your chin, all right? Saiful, I can really see you. You were going right. Point to the chin. Oh. There you went down, cari kat sini. Ada some of you tengah duk cari lagi chin kat mana ni. Okay? Now, simple activity, okay? And this is something that in the classroom we'll do it, online we'll do it as well. To make and in terms of training, yeah, telling people action speaks louder than words, that's knowledge. Okay, doing this activity, point to the chin, okay, while I actually point to the cheek, okay, I think my pronunciation was clear enough, point to the chin, and rather than tunjuk kat sini, I tunjuk kat sini. Now what is this? This is not just giving people knowledge, this is giving people experience. People remember experience a lot better than remembering knowledge. Okay, so to always create activities in training to me is very, very important. Experiential training can still happen online. It doesn't have to be face-to-face. Okay, so action speaks louder than words. So now looking at this, 7:38:55. Now probably some of you are saying, kalau macam tu tak payah bercakap lepas ni. So imagine me running this session just like, okay, using just sign language, right? Now, of course, some people use sign language, but alhamdulillah, we are able people and we can talk, okay? So the way I look at it is that I don't look at it as saying words and intonation are not important, okay? But I look at it, the reverse actually, the opposite. Now, like it or not, we know that we communicate a lot using words, and words is very much connected or always there will be intonation inside that. So if that is the case, so out of that 45% for words and intonation, to me, the more the reason that we have to pay attention to our choice of words and to our intonation when we are communicating. Not to take it for granted, because we want to fulfill that 45% effectiveness. Okay, because out of options, really, that's how we communicate. Now, and it's interesting that I'm talking about this one right now. Okay, during CMCO with the pandemic going on out there. Now, with online training, especially a seated online training, like this one is a seated online training. I know that there's another option that we do conduct trainings where we stand as well for certain programs. But for a session like this one, most of my body language is covered. You can only see probably parts of my hand gestures right now, okay? So the more the reason in today's world, the so-called new norm in learning and development, the more the reason that we have to pay probably a lot more attention to the words that we use, okay, as well as our intonation. Now, to be good in any language for that matter, is not about having a vast corpus of vocabulary. I don't believe in that. It's on how to use whatever that we already know and to use them well. And this is what this session pretty much will be all about. Okay, right. Now, any questions related to this one that I should address, guys? Ada ya? Okay, let me move on. Don't worry, at the end of it, we can always have a chat later on. Okay? Oh, I tengok time flies, man. Okay, Gregory Burns says this: a person may have the best ideas in the world, but if he or she can't convince others about those ideas, then those ideas just won't matter. Okay, and I love this quote by Gregory here, because to me, I focus on one keyword inside there, and this is the keyword. Okay, so communication is the response that you get. That is what NLP says. Now, Gregory Burns says that if you are unable to convince people, then probably forget about communicating. Okay, so in other words, what is communication? Communication is all about this. Communication is about persuading people. Communication is about convincing people. Communication is about influencing people. If you ask your kids to sleep at 10 p.m. and they don't sleep at 10 p.m., instead of blaming them, check your communication again, whether you have said it clearly or not. I have a trainer friend who asked his kids to sleep. He didn't say that. He wanted his kids to sleep at 10 p.m. No more games, no more phones and stuff like that. They have to surrender all that to the parents, okay? But what he told the kids was, the day earlier, he said like, okay, pukul 10 malam besok, Abah tak nak tengok semua duk melepak-lepak kat sini dah. Pukul 10 malam semua masuk bilik. Okay? So, comes the next day, you know what happened? True. The kids followed his instruction. At 10 p.m., they are not loitering in the living area, TV area anymore. They are all in the kakak's room, only one room. He did not say in your own room, okay? So, they went into the kakak's room and they tengah main zoo, melompat-lompat, bunyi gajah, bunyi tiger and all that, okay? So, dia masuk, dia mengamuk. Dia kata, I told you to sleep at 10 p.m. kan? Apa yang bising-bising lagi ni? And then the eldest daughter said, Abah, yesterday you said pukul 10 masuk bilik. Abah tak kata tidur pun. Communication is the response that you get. Okay? So, now, this is what I wanted to share with all of you. Okay? A list of 28 words based on a research conducted by UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. One of the most prominent universities, I would say that probably they are still in the top 10 or even the top 5 in the world, okay? And they have a very strong linguistic department there. I'm a former lecturer of language and communication. So during that time, if there was another university that I would love to work in, probably it would have been UCLA. Now, UCLA, okay, before we look at the words individually, let me just give you the story, okay, about the research. UCLA came up with the research, and remember, whenever we come up with the research, we always create a hypothesis first. And then the research is all about testing whether the hypothesis is true or false, right? So UCLA came up with a hypothesis that says this for this particular research. only good or even great communicators can be successful. Okay, only good communicators, or even I would go to the extent of great communicators, can be successful, because life is all about meeting people, communicating with people. So UCLA came up with that simple hypothesis. Only great communicators can be successful. So now they need to test whether the hypothesis is true or not. So what they did was a pretty simple research, to tell you the truth. They identified successful people. Of course, it was limited in the US at that time. So names that you would be familiar with, like, Donald Trump. But at that time, he was not mad yet. He was still sane. He was still that wonderful businessman. Now, he deserves to go to Tanjung Rambutan probably. Okay. So former presidents of the US, names like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, even those in the entertainment business, like what's the lady? I always wish that he goes for the presidency. What's the name?
Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so this was some of the names. It was a bigger group of subjects. This was some of the names that were the subject of this research. So what they did was they assigned their researchers to be with these successful, prominent people, all right, for a period of 3 months. And what did they do during that period of 3 months? They were with these people and to observe and to record all their communication, okay, during their meetings, during product launches, during negotiations, during their brainstorming session and all that. So the researchers would be there and they would record the whole communication that actually comes out from the mouths of all these subjects. So after 3 months, they brought back the data back to UCLA, and UCLA analyzed the data. Basically, a very basic data analysis method when we talk about language is called frequency test. The frequency test basically tests on what words do these successful people tend to use a lot more than other words in their corpus of vocabulary that they have. And to UCLA's own surprise, these 28 words came up, meaning these successful people tend to use these words a lot more than all the other English words out there. UCLA was so surprised because the assumption was probably these people use bombastic words. Probably these people use industry-specific words to impress people with their knowledge and their experience and all that. But if you look through, now altogether there are 28 words here. Okay, let's do this, everyone. At the moment it's in English, but I'll explain later about the language aspect of this. Ada tak words in English dekat sini, 28 ni, yang you are not familiar with or you even tak sure how to pronounce it? Can you just write there in the comment, in the chat, or if you are in Zoom, you can just cakap aja. Anyone? Ada tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada? Tak ada? Tengok.
Tak ada.
Terror tak terror Malaysians. Okay? We know all these words. Tapi let's be real. To me, ada one word dekat situ yang probably we know, but we don't use as often as we should. Second line, okay, the word after fun. Second last line, sorry. The word after fun. What's the word? Vital. Okay, pronunciation is vital. Bukan Vitalis pada orang-orang lama kat sini yang dulu pakai minyak rambut Vitalis, okay? So dia tahulah sebut benda ni. Okay, it's not vital, it's vital. What's the meaning of vital, guys? Anyone?
Important.
Important. Now let's think a bit carefully about this one. Is it just important?
Very
critical.
Is it at the same level as important? Sorry, what's that?
Super critical.
Critical.
Very important.
Critical, super important, very important, urgent. Okay. Yes, it does mean important. And I noticed this, guys. The Star newspaper. I've been reading a lot of Star online on news and stuff here. The Star newspaper. I realized like a couple of days ago, for 2 or 3 consecutive days, their main heading is CMCO is vital for COVID-19 recovery. Blah, 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 blah is vital rather than using important. So guys, we want to improve our vocabulary kan. So lepas ni jumpa bos, jangan tanyalah, bos, bila meeting kita yang important tu? Tanya wah, bos, bila meeting kita yang vital? Bos, vital ke? Oh, kita kena buat cepat lah kalau vital benda tu. Alright? Because vital as a word give that sense of urgency, okay? That something that we should not delay, postpone talking about it. So that's vital, okay? Now, look at the first word. Simple English word, understand, okay? Now, compare that word to another word yang we can easily replace this. Katalah konteks dia is like this. Someone is telling us something, okay? And then we are familiar with whatever that person is telling us. So we tend to say, Rasanta, all of us, I believe, we tend to say, I know that. Now compare if your response between I know that dengan I understand that. Is there a difference for you to say I know that when someone tells you something compared to saying I understand that?
Yes.
Yes. Which one would be better?
Understand.
Why, Karel?
Understand because it's create a sense of positive response. I know that will show that you are in power. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
But
I thank you very much, Carol. Wonderful. When you say I know, that's probably ego answering rather than the individual answering. That the person's ego through experience and knowledge it turns into ego, and we say I know. And sometimes kita cut short what people are saying before they finish saying it. I know that. Okay, but when we say we understand that, that in a way imply we have listened. Okay, we have listened to the argument or to the explanation, and then we understand the explanation or the argument over there. Okay, now, so these are the 28 words, and I was, Alhamdulillah, I was introduced to these words. Now I have to say this: if you Google right now power words, you have all sorts of lists over there. You go Google image power words pun, you akan nampak all sorts of lists there. Okay. Now, I am not saying that these 28 words are the only 28 power words, depending on the context. Okay. I kadang-kadang when I run training, I say this, I would add another power word here, sale, S-A-L-E. Because the word sale makes ladies enter a shop. They leave their husband behind. Okay, mula-mula jalan pegang tangan ni dekat mall. Tapi dia nampak the sale, okay, punya S-A-L-E, and in Malaysia, they'll cover the whole shop window with that 4-letter word, S-A-L-E. And then your wife will leave you behind and she will rush inside there. And for all you know, ada two pair of shoes saja on sale. Okay, but that word enables you to take the action of entering the shop, and once you enter the shop, sebelah two pairs yang sale tu is the new arrival yang lawa gila and mahal gila. And they tend to get, they want to try that one first. Okay. So power words are powerful words. Now the beauty of power words is this. Well, before I go through this, it's not only in English. You can easily translate it into BM. You can easily translate it into Tamil, Hokkien, Mandarin, whatever languages that we use, okay? The effect to the human mind will be the same. Because culturally, and now we are talking about social linguistics here, culturally, the effect on the human mind would be the same for everyone in the world. Now, let me take this opportunity to very briefly explain the communication process, something that we've gone through probably, but just a revision to everyone. Quick revision, and then we're going to look at how power words change things over here. There are many ways of looking at our mind, and one of the ways is that kalau BM ni kita panggil keratan rentas, okay? So the upper part is our conscious mind, or in BM minda sedar kita, okay? And the lower part is our subconscious mind, or some people call it our unconscious mind even. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let's just use the term subconscious over here. Now, in terms of percentage, it's still contention about this one, but a lot of people are saying like our conscious mind probably take up only like 10% of our whole mind. And our subconscious mind is 90%. So just like what we call, kenapa gambar ni is called the iceberg principle. Okay, kenapa Titanic sank? Because they assumed the iceberg was small because they could only see what is on the surface of the water. But below that, there was like another 90% of the iceberg below the water level. Okay, so that's why we call it the iceberg principle to look at the brain. Okay, now kalau you tengok our conscious mind, now critical thinking, the one on the right, yeah, critical thinking, logical thinking, short-term memory, willpower. Okay, but kalau you baca on the left, the conscious mind tries to use willpower to control behaviors, habits, and beliefs, but loses out to the subconscious mind's greater influence. What is our subconscious mind? Kita guys, to me, I describe it as this. This is probably the most powerful CPU in the world. Okay, no technology, 5G, 6G, 10G later on cannot beat the power of our subconscious mind. Now, what is there in our subconscious mind? Kalau you tengok belah kanan kat bawah sana, beliefs, our creativity, our development, our emotions and feelings, our habits, imagination, intuition, long-term memory, and values. But I want to highlight especially these two, beliefs and values. Now, think about it carefully, guys. Kita buat decision, apa yang boleh buat, apa yang tak boleh buat, apa yang betul, apa yang salah, based on our belief system, based on our values. Am I right to say that? Okay, I think we can agree on that one. So, all those are in our subconscious mind. Not in our conscious mind. Kalau kita rely on our conscious mind saja, tak apa-apalah kita akan buat. Okay, so let's look at basically the communication process. Someone is communicating with us, so and that person wants to pass us a message, obviously. Okay, whatever forms of a message. So the message will through our ears. Okay, let's say it's a verbal communication. Will go through into our conscious mind. Now, our conscious mind at this point in time most likely cannot make a decision because there's no data inside there to help it to make a decision. So our conscious mind kena ketuk the door of our subconscious mind. So the message comes through to our subconscious mind. Now, subconscious mind has all the data, our belief system, our values, our knowledge, long-term memory and all that. Then our subconscious mind will make the decision and then dia pass balik ke atas to our conscious mind. Only then it will come out, and if we use the NLP's definition just now, it will come out as a response. Okay, so that's the process. I think we all know that. I just want to highlight the fact that our belief system is there in our subconscious mind. Now, let's say this is the scenario. Okay, this is the scenario. You tengah jalan-jalan dekat mall, katalah lepas CMCO and all that, you want to celebrate your freedom. You go out to malls, you go for holidays and all that. Suddenly, katalah you are outside of KL, okay? And then you datang KL to celebrate, bawa family semua, tengah jalan dekat one of the malls in KL, you bump into an old friend of yours, okay? Old buddy of yours, sama masa study dulu ke whatever, best friend dulu ni. BFF, and then for whatever reason we have not been keeping in touch, bump into each other, got excited and all that, and then your friend stays in KL. So your friend tanya you, bro, kau dekat KL ke? Next few days ni? Kata, aku kat KL. Kau duduk mana? Probably you are staying at the family's place ke? You cakap kat dia, dia kata, bro, since you are in KL, jom, join me tonight. So you get excited. Atau kau nak belanja aku kan? Kau miss aku, kau nak belanja aku kan? Kata, tak. Jom join me tonight. We run naked around KL. Okay? Now the request is, jom lagi bogel keliling KL. What would be your response, guys? Ni respons yang betul. Ni nampak muka duk senyum-senyum dah ni. Okay? The immediate response. What would be your immediate response? Anyone? Saiful, what would be your response? Jom lari bogel keliling KL.
Are you crazy?
Muka pelik ya.
Muka pelik. Oh, itu muka pelik tadi tu. Okay.
Muka
Sebab
pelik.
nampak macam muka biasa. Okay. Sorry, just kidding. Okay, are you crazy? Kau gila ke apa? Okay, now that is the response. Now, hold on. Where did that response originated from? Your belief system, your values. Because your religion says tak boleh lagi bogel. You know the law says that is illegal. Okay, ada malu and all that. So that's how it happens. Okay, but now hold on. What if kita change the scenario sikit? Your friend probably have attended a training program with me and has been introduced to power words. Okay, power words. So lepas you dah respond yang gila ke apa and all that, probably your friend will say this. Dia kata, aku dah agak dah kau akan kata macam tu. But hold on bro, let me explain. Okay? And they start using power words. Trust me, if you run naked with me tonight around KL, we won't get caught. I guarantee you, aku dah buat benda ni tiap-tiap hari for the last 3 months. Don't ask me why. Okay? Alright? So, and the road that I use is proven. Tak ada polis, anjing pun tak ada lalu kat sana. So, he start using, trust me, is proven. Okay? If you remember the power words earlier, it's proven, I guarantee you, and all that. Now, so what happens is, I'm not saying that you will immediately change your answer to, yes, let's go bro, pukul berapa ni, aku dah lama nak lari bogel. I'm not saying that. But let's look at the process first. When someone uses power words, okay, the message will go into our conscious mind. Then again, same process, it will go into our subconscious mind. But the power of power words is this. It is able to shake your beliefs and values and even alter your belief and values so that when it comes out as a response, the response will be more in favor of the person sending the message. Like I said, in this, ini extreme punya example lah. I'm not saying that when your friend uses power words, dijamin, percayalah, terbukti and all that, you will immediately say yes to running naked around KL. But I won't be surprised instead of that one response, kau gila ke apa, your response will be, ya ke? Pukul berapa kau start lagi ni? Jalan mana yang kau guna? Satu polis pun kau tak pernah nampak. Tak ada orang pun and all that. You become inquisitive and you want to know more. Now, hold on guys. Every time we share an idea in the meeting room, isn't that what we want? We want people to be interested in the idea and ask us more questions about it, okay, so that we can really explain, justify, influence, and convince them. Isn't that communication is all about? I believe that is communication. Okay. Now, I won't be surprised. Some of you are saying, dah biasa dah guna power words ni. Aku biasa guna guarantee, trust and all that. But hold on. Words 7%. Intonation 38%. So using power words without stressing on them, okay, doesn't work. Okay. So what we are going to do now, okay, now basically quickly, who needs power words? Okay, basically leaders, because your job is to convince, to influence, bukan bagi arahan. Saiful, are we okay? Alright, yeah? Okay, biasalah Ismas 1 hour, okay? Okay, leaders, because leaders, remember, you are not a boss, you are a leader. Your job is not to give orders. Your job is to influence, persuade people to do things the way you want them to do things. That is a good leader. Presenters, definitely. Okay, we present to pass a message to make people understand, and sometimes we want to persuade and convince them to believe in something that you're sharing with them. Trainers, consultants, because we don't teach, we don't lecture. Our job is to influence and to persuade people that whatever we are sharing is real. It's not a theory. It can be practiced and it works like magic. Sales marketing personnel. All right. We do a lot of sales and marketing programs. We always say to sales and marketing consultants or personnel, you cannot consider yourself a graduate of sales and marketing selagi you are not introduced to power words. Okay. Politicians. before the election. I kena tambah sikit. Okay, politicians use power words. Sorry ya kalau ada politicians listening in. Okay, politicians use power words before the election. Pergilah tengok YouTube kalau ada recording politician. Percayalah tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, terbukti. Okay, dan sebagainya. So politicians, and check out number 6 if you are one of them. Scammers use power words as well. Okay, kalau you tengok right now cases yang scam banyak ni, siapa yang kena scam? Bukan calang-calang orang. Some of them are Tan Sris, ada yang profesor dekat UTM yang kena scam. And why? Because scam calls, okay, actually guna power words. And that one, sebab tu orang cepat panik. Dah tahu dah scam ni dah more than 10 years dekat Malaysia pun, orang still kena tipu. But basically, if you ask me, all of us communicate. If all of us communicate, parents to communicate with your kids, the use of power words. Teachers with kids, power words. It's all about influencing. Okay? Right. So what we are going to do now is we're going to do a quick activity. Sempat lagi tak, Saiful? Alright? Okay, we're going to do a quick activity because why, like I said earlier, knowledge is meaningless. It's all about the practice. And I would like to share with you this quote. Knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. Okay, so life is not about knowing, life is about doing. So what I'm going to do now, okay, Saiful, have you passed the host to me? Yes, all right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, okay, first I'm going to share the slide because I received feedback that orang-orang dekat Facebook Live sedih sebab diorang tak nampak slide saja, tak nampak those people in Zoom. Okay, guys, dekat FB Live, inilah people dalam Zoom. Guys, say hi to everyone. You are live nationwide right now. Glamour semua. Okay, so now just to share for those out there, clients or training providers. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to very quickly create breakout rooms. Okay, so there are a few of us over here. So let's say I want to break up them into 2 rooms only, okay? And let's say I want to do it manually, okay? I want to do it manually, so I create the breakout room. So I'm sure you can see this now. So now when I click assign, the names are here. So let's say just at random, I put a few of you here, okay? Okay, all right, okay, probably this one. And then for the next one, probably the rest of you. Okay, so I'll just do this one. Okay, so now what's going to happen is all of you will be going to your breakout rooms. Okay, all of you are going to your breakout rooms. And what I would like you to do is very quickly, okay, kalau tak sempat, write it down just to plan, okay, as a team, as a group, so that we have some samples later of the use of power words. What you need to do is, okay, think of a context. Masa bila yang sesuai untuk kita guna power words tu? Power words tu. Example, I've mentioned some of them. Let's say you are giving an idea. All right, so probably write 1 or 2 paragraphs of that idea. Insert as many power words as possible. Okay. We are training graduates, just to share with you, we are training graduates to answer the question, why should we employ you? And answering that question using power words inside there. For example, say, I guarantee you, I am the performer that you are looking for. All right, it's been proven through my achievements when I was studying, blah, 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 and all that. Okay, so those of you dekat Facebook, when they go into the rooms, but guys, I'm just going to give you a few minutes. Team from Consiler, probably you can manage things. And then very quickly come back here, so that you can share some samples so that our friends yang dekat FB Live can listen to us. All right? Okay, so I'm going to send all of you to your rooms. Okay, so do join the room now. You have breakout room 1 and breakout room 2. Okay. So those of you dekat Facebook Live, just bear with me for a while, because there'll be a way. Let me just check whether I can view you guys kat sana. Give me a bit, yeah. Tertinggal lah I seorang dekat sini. Okay, kejap. Let me just check whether I can view all of you. Sorry, I'm not using multiple devices today. Okay, I'm sorry, but whatever that you want to share, just write in the comments box over there, please. Okay, so that we can discuss that at the end of it. Sorry if I'm taking a bit of your time, but I believe this is something simple, tapi to me, if you ask me, it's very important. For those of you kalau viewing from FB Live, I'm talking just to you right now. Diorang tengah sibuk discussing in their small group discussion tu. Kalau you tengok my promo video, I did say that this is something very personal to me. Why I said that is because Alhamdulillah, I've been introduced to PowerWords ni early in my life, and I start practicing it. Okay. So who am I? I'm a training provider. So whenever we want to secure a training program, before we can secure the program, we have to go to our client, meet the client for the very first time, group of strangers in a meeting room, and we have to present and convince and persuade them that, hey, we are the right provider to run this training program. And to share with you, how do we do that? We use PowerWords. And the beauty of PowerWords is this. Remember, physiology, 55% kan? So when you use PowerWords on people, tengok orang tu. Okay, tengok orang tu, you akan immediately nampak the person start nodding. Trust me, you will be able to visually see that. Okay, so now imagine the process flow yang I cerita tadi about the message going into your unconscious mind, shake the belief system or the values of that person. So almost like macam kita masuk tangan dalam kepala dia, bila kita cakap something, trust me, is proven, I guarantee you, and then dia pun akan start. Okay, and we've experienced this a lot. We can see it live in front of us when we start using PowerWords. Now, later I'm going to share this as well. Bila kita guna PowerWords, we are going to sound confident. We are going to sound assertive, bukan aggressive. Okay, we are going to sound assertive. Kita kadang-kadang salah guna. We tend to use the term aggressive. We see a friend that is a bit more passive, probably introverted. We say to that person, kata, kau ni aggressive lah sikit, kan? Kau ni macam senyap sangat, aggressive sikit. Actually, that's the wrong choice of word. We don't want that person to be aggressive. Kita yang tak larat layan dia. Aggressive people couldn't care less about other people, feelings, emotions whenever they communicate. We want to be assertive. Assertive are people yang are very confident about themselves, confident about what they are talking about, okay? And they say it, yet they manage other people's feelings and emotions. Now that is the power of PowerWords, okay? So that's why I say it's very personal to me. I've been practicing it a lot. And both, I use it in my verbal communication with people, both BM and English, okay? As well as in my writing, okay, emails, proposals that we create, it will be that as well. Okay, diorang ni dah balik rumah ke semua? Okay, so now, okay, let's say to me they are taking too long, so I want to bring them back to the main room. So I'm going to close all rooms. Actually, I have the option of joining and telling them I'm closing the room, but I won't do that sebab kalau saya masuk ke sana, you guys won't be able to view me anymore. So I'm just going to close the rooms and all of them will appear back on our screen here, inshallah. Right? Okay. So within 1 minute, it will close and then all of them will come back here. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Okay, now you can see that they start appearing now. Okay. All right, so just to share with everyone, I'm still sharing the screen. I think visible kan dekat FB Live, yes. Saiful, right? Okay, yeah. So let's leave it like this so that people can see whoever is here. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Ada lagi? Oh, another group baru nak masuk. Okay, so while you guys were there, I was explaining to those watching on FB how to use the breakout room. Okay, and macam mana you all masuk, and I as the host or trainer, I can close the room in a way force you guys to come back over here. Okay. Mana grup lagi satu ni? Ya Allah, discuss sampai besok.
Kami punya pemahaman sangat tinggi.
Itulah. Dia actually-nya I divided tadi ikut level. Yang balik cepat tu is the higher level. Ni group yang baru masuk ni lower level. Dia lama sikit dia discuss.
Kita buat betul-betul lah.
Okay. Thank you. Alright guys, anyone would like to share with me and especially with our viewers on FB your sample? It would be good if we can have both in BM or in English. I think save these two languages lah. Anyone?
Kita dah pilih band lah.
Sorry?
Kita dah pilih band lah.
Okay, band. Alright. Okay, band.
Mangsa.
Okay. Ingatkan grup lambat yang kena, bukan grup awal.
Grup awal yang pandai kena dulu. Ben, just nak tanya, you are doing in BM or in English?
BM.
In BM. Okay. Alright, let's hear it. Can you share the context?
Yes, sure. Can you see that?
Belum lagi.
Yes, sudah.
Okay, alright. Apa konteks dia?
Okay, ni konteks dia lebih kepada scammer lah.
Oh, scammer. Nampak rupa pun ada. Okay, alright. Okay, can you please read through benda ni, Ben?
Okay, ini situasi ni selepas pengesahan nama dan nombor IC mangsa.
Okay, alright.
Okay. Saya Syafiq bin Rahim, Pegawai Hubungan Awam, buat panggilan dari Unit Kutipan Hasil HDN Petaling Jaya. Encik dengar baik-baik, perkara ini sangat penting untuk saya sampaikan kepada Encik. Tujuan saya membuat panggilan ini untuk memberitahu Encik bahawa kita telah menghantar 2 notis amaran pembayaran income tax pada Encik. Demi keselamatan Encik daripada senarai hitam oleh pihak bank dan LHDN, kami harap Encik dapat membuat pembayaran dalam masa 3 hari dari hari ini. Namun saya memahami situasi kewangan Encik boleh bercakap dengan pengarah kutipan hasil untuk mengurangkan jumlah pembayaran. Saya percaya dan beri jaminan kepada Encik bahawa pengarah akan beri keputusan yang terbaik dan positif untuk pengurangan pembayaran tersebut.
Alright, well done. Let's give a big round of applause to Ben. Thank you, Ben. Boleh stop. Biar dulu, Ben. Okay. In actual fact, this is interesting. Walaupun saya tak bagi the instruction tadi. Normally, when we run our training on power words, we do ask people to do this. Create a sample macam ni and include the power words, and don't just include the power words. Boldkan dia or underline dia to remind us about the Mehrabian principle in communication. Power words is good, tapi kalau we don't stress on the power words, okay, it would be meaningless. Contoh dia, kalau kita simply kata that line, Encik dengar baik-baik sebab ini perkara sangat penting untuk saya sampaikan kepada Encik. Not effective. Okay, tapi kalau kita stress on that, Encik dengar baik-baik sebab ini perkara sangat penting untuk saya sampaikan kepada Encik. Then we panic. Okay, I can tell you guys, if I receive a call like this, I kalang kabut. Okay, because it sounds important, it sounds urgent, probably I'll be scammed if I'm not careful about this one. I at least will make that call. Remember, communication is the response that you get. So something like this will make people pick up the phone and call the number. Then they get the response that they want from you. That shows the power of power words. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ben. Well done once again. Okay, Ben, you can stop sharing. Ada another one. Probably we are running out of time, so probably we can have one in English. Anyone?
Okay, I ada in English. All right. Okay. I'm sharing the screen.
AR Syafiq. All right. Thank you.
AR Syafiq.
AR Syafiq. Macam pelakon nama.
Tak boleh share screen lah.
Badul ke?
Cannot share screen.
Okay. Dia kena tukar dia punya jadi co-host.
Okay.
Mungkin sebab nama dia, mungkin Syafiq Rahim tadi dia kot.
Sebab Syafiq.
Syafiq tadi scammer kot.
Sebab band satu grup dengan Saiful.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Cepat-cepat bagi host.
So, okay. Boleh dah?
Okay.
Okay, check.
Belum. Host disable, participant.
Okay, Arfan.
Okay, I ada letak dekat chat, everyone.
No, okay. Why don't I won't read from the chat. Why don't you just verbally say down.
Okay. I jual air purifier.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, kita start. It is vital for everyone to maintain a good health system, a positive environment with maximum security and safety for you and your loved one. Nowadays, there are many types of air purifiers in the market, low to high-end spec. But do we know and understand well its main purpose, or just to fulfill the current trend? Right? Choosing the right air purifier will benefit you more with a great result to your health system. We are proud to introduce the new model of air purifier, Kiki. A new discovery comes with high technology air filter to ensure you and your loved ones stay in comfort, happiness, and fun at all times. Grab yours now, save your money for a great quality. Trust us, we guarantee your satisfaction. Sekejap, mana lagi? Lagi dah. You deserve to get better health system and happy life.
Okay, dah.
Alright, dah.
Alright, thank you very much, AR Shafiq. Okay.
I rasa dia Chinese blood.
Let's give him a big round of applause. Good job, Arfan. Okay, now probably because just now you were reading, okay, and probably is baru buat tadi, so you were reading, flow dia tu tak nampak atau tak dengar sangat, okay, but I noticed the power words and the attempt to stress on the power words, okay. So like I said earlier, we can easily say, I guarantee you this will work, compared to I guarantee you this will work. Okay, so it makes a lot of difference when we add the stress, the intonation on the power words. And that's interesting, because when Arfan said that, it reminded me of something. Now guys, those skeptics over there yang tak percaya about the power of power words, lepas session ni, switch on your TV, tengok Wow Shop. Tengok Wow Shop. Ladies, every time I run training, I always warn ladies about this one. If you're watching Wow Shop, don't watch Wow Shop more than 5 minutes. Go back to the process just now, because without you realizing, you dah baru beli mop last weekend. Ada mop dah in your kitchen. Okay, baru 2-3 hari beli mop tu. And then you tengok Wow Shop, dia tengah jual another brand of mop. And then Wow Shop normally in DM, right? I believe. Okay, because I avoid watching it. So why? Because power words have the it can hypnotize people. Okay, macam NLP. NLP can be a form of hypnosis as well. But we don't want to go up to that point. We want just to look at the level of communication. So meaning what? We can hypnotize people just with our communication skill. Kita boleh memukau orang dengan communication skill kita. Okay? And Wow Shop, okay, we all in training, we all in sales ni, we all selalu kata ni, Wow Shop bukan jual barang. Wow Shop jual power words. What you buy, you tengok the mop tu, dia kata, jangan risau tuan-tuan perempuan, dijamin mop yang terbaik dalam dunia, percayalah. 800 orang saja dah beli dalam 1 jam. You dengar, percayalah, dijamin, terbukti and all that. And then you also, oh lama, best lah mop ni. Now to cut the story short, 4 hari lepas tu sampai parcel mop baru. Okay, and probably kita, Allah, kenapalah aku pergi beli mop satu lagi ni? Because they is a big business. Wow Shop is a very big business. And how come it can be a big business? But orang selalunya nak pegang benda, nak try benda when purchasing. Okay. But people are willing to commit to buying because they are actually hypnotizing people through the language that they use over there. Okay, so that is the power of power words. Kita tak payah dah nak pergi depan orang, okay, tengok pen ni, okay, because why? I want to hypnotize you. No, just use your communication skill, use power words to hypnotize people. All right. Okay, now let me, since I am still on screen sharing, right now? Okay, now let me go back to my slides. Just, okay, thank you once again. Thank you very much, everyone. maybe ada dekat FB punya tu, kalau need to be shared, please share with me. You guys can see the slide now, right? Boleh? Sorry, I cannot hear anyone.
No.
Boleh?
No.
Power words punya practice.
No.
Tak nampak eh?
No.
Tak nampak ya? Okay, let me just do this again. Sorry.
Dekat chat ada Haji K punya situation.
Ada apa? Sorry?
Oh, ada power words and ada power words.
Ada power words dalam Haji K juga.
Sorry, I don't get you. What's that again?
Dekat chat ada power word by Haji K.
Dekat chat ada power words. Okay, thank you very much for doing that. Okay, now let me try and go back to my slide. For whatever reason, it was not moving just now. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Power words,
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Okay, thank you. Right. So we've done this, and remember, guys, whatever I've shared with you, and this is honest and sincere. To tell you the truth, I'm a former teacher and lecturer of language. I learned about power words, to tell you the truth, only after I resigned as a lecturer of UKM. And I asked myself, how come dalam our education syllabus tak ada the introduction of power words to kids? From primary school, you dah boleh introduce benda ni. Because isn't that what we want? We want our kids to be able to communicate well, confident, and then influence and persuade people so that they can argue more convincingly with parents. So probably that's why parents tak nak the syllabus add in that content code. Okay, so it's very powerful. Just to share my own personal experience, when I learned about power words, the first person I shared it with was actually my son. Okay, and he was still in primary school lagi masa tu. Saya kata, dude, saya panggil dia dude dia. Dude, start using power words in your communication with your teachers, with your friends and all that. And Alhamdulillah, he started practicing it. Tapi lepas tu yang menyesal dia bapak dia, okay, because that's how he got his PlayStation. Okay, he was in Form 5, sepatutnya tak layan langsung anak nak beli benda-benda macam ni. But one day he came back from school, he sat me down, talk to me, father and son punya talk, and then he started using power words. And he went like, you know, we tend to speak English to each other a lot more than BM. So dia kata, Dad, trust me that whatever results that you expect me to get for SPM, I'll get it. If not for myself, for you. And then he smiled, all right? And it's proven. You can see how I'm studying a lot more than I studied probably the past few years, okay? I'm studying a lot more. Okay, so you use the word trust. I guarantee you, proven. Okay, I deserve a PlayStation. So to cut the story short, 2-3 hari lepas tu, he received his PlayStation. Lepas tu, mother dia mengamuk, kata, baguslah rosakkan anak. Okay, nak SPM, beli PlayStation and all that. And then I just look at my wife and I said, nak buat macam mana? Dia guna power words. Okay. Then my wife tanya, apa dia power words? And I said like, nothing. I shared power words with my son, but I never shared power words with my wife for certain obvious reasons. Kalau tidak, banyak benda nak kena beli. Okay, so she's able to influence and persuade me probably too easy after that. Okay, now I mentioned this while you guys on Zoom tadi pergi in your breakout rooms. Okay, once again, thank you guys for doing the workshop. I was sharing with those on FB Live that when we use power words, this is who we will become. Our communication will become assertive. Okay, we will sound like someone who is confident. Okay, with ourselves as well as with whatever we are talking about. Will sound positive, confident, certain, insistent, firm, and sure. But not if you look here, okay, tak ada the word arrogant pun dekat sana. Okay, right. I will stop my presentation here. Okay, if anyone needs to get in touch with us, this is our company details. Okay, so but once again, on behalf of the company, Kosala Consulting, on behalf of myself, Ismas Aziz, I really, really appreciate and would like to thank those of you here from Seafood Time, okay, and the team of trainers. I love the fact that for the last few weeks, I met ramai dalam tu, okay, not just 16, more than 16 budding trainers out there yang sama macam saya juga, and there's a lot of sharing, and it's a very humbling experience to be in a group of experts in the areas that they train. So I really appreciate that, and I hope those of you at home have enjoyed the series. Jangan lupa tomorrow ada another day on that one. Okay, so I'll stop sharing and I'll go back to see all of you there. Okay. Okay, right. So I'll pass the session back to Saiful. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
And kalau ada apa-apa yang questions ke apa that I should deal with, please share with me. Alright.
Dia kata from BB kat Facebook, dia kata I definitely going to practice power words with my husband starting now. Habislah.
I love you, BB. Please do that.
Whatever happens after this is your fault.
Yes, I know. And it will be effective.
Tapi I baru perasan lah, AR Syafiq ni I rasa I baru kenal dia pun kan. I rasa dia ada Chinese blood lah, cuba cari explanation dia tadi.
Betul lah. Cara cakap itu dia probably ada juga.
Macam kat jalan pudu kan. Now, so boleh nak kata kalau usually that ladies are much more fragile bila kena dengan power words ni. Do you agree on that?
I don't dare say that. Okay, by me answering that, it will make me sound to Malaysia I'm sexist. Okay, I will not. I take the 5th Amendment on that one. Okay, Nurul dah kata lain baca punya soalan Saiful tu. No, I disagree. Okay, but saying that, we have to admit the reality that the male brain and the female brain are wired differently. Okay, female brain are wired differently, the male brain are wired differently. Okay, female tend to be a lot of decision making is based on emotion. Okay, based on emotion and feelings. Okay, men ialah in our programming still ada masuk hutan pergi memburu, bawa balik makanan to the family. So that is the programming for the male brain. No, I won't say that. I think power words work similarly, whether to the male brain or to the female brain. Sebab kalau kita tengok the brain punya tu tadi, what's there in our subconscious mind, our belief system, our values, our feelings and emotions are there. Yes. Okay, so they make the decision for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Terbukti lah waktu you kena belikan PlayStation tu kan, so terbukti.
Yep.
And then
sorry Saiful, I just wanted to say tadi I mentioned about Wow Shop kan.
Yeah.
Just listen when you watch movies in English, okay? Naikkan the volume, listen carefully to the conversation. Trust me, in every movie akan ada trust me. Akan ada that phrase trust me. And when a character says trust me, the other example scenario nak rob a bank, ada different ideas on how to rob the bank, and then while they were arguing about it, all right, one of the criminals probably said like, trust me guys, this will work. Bila dia kata tu saja is the opportunity for the producer to actually make other characters agree and then cut, and then is the next morning at the bank. Okay, you hear that a lot. Trust me, guarantee, banyak dalam movies it is being used.
Ni ada some comments ni. From Srin Dadami. We wish we have more time to learn this. Lepas tu from Tina Aziz punya question, how do you counter people with power words? Use power word as well?
Yes. Okay. Now, for those of you who attended the NLP session or familiar with NLP, one of the simplest but powerful concept in NLP is matching. Okay, it's matching. So bosses, leaders tend to use power words, whether they are conscious of it or not. So when we are dealing with them, okay, laras bahasa kita kena sama with their laras bahasa. So if they use power words, we need to use power words as well. Okay, only then we come across at that so-called yang kita selalu kata kepala sama, same wavelength. Actually, what are we talking about? We cannot read each other's wavelength. It's actually the how we communicate with each other. We are basically using the same lingo. We are using the same words. We are in terms of communication. I selalu remind people, listen carefully to what people are saying. Then when you are responding to them, guna the same keywords yang those people use. Jangan guna keywords lain nak tunjuk you terror, you know more words and all that. Use the same keywords. Then people feel comfortable with us. That's how you build rapport with people, really.
Right. Then even though I think how you're going to answer this, but I will still ask this question.
Sure.
From Facebook. When we are doing sales, will it be right to use persuasive power words?
Again, when
we are doing sales, will it be right to use persuasive power words?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But I think I understand why the question is being asked. I think a lot of organizations are telling their staff members, do not use the word guarantee. Okay, I know a lot of organizations are saying that to their staff members. Don't use the word guarantee to the customer. Don't say to the customer, your loan will be, we guarantee you your loan will be approved in 7 days time. Why? Sebenarnya is sad lah to hear that. That means the organization doesn't trust its own processes, doesn't trust its own people to do things according to the SOP that they've set and all that. Okay, so sepatutnya we should be able to give that guarantee. And I always say, for people in sales and marketing, if you are here, if you cannot give a guarantee on behalf of your organization, give a personal guarantee. I guarantee you that I will do the follow-up. I will check the status of your application, sebagainya. And then I guarantee you, I will call you next Monday to update you on that one. You can still give a personal guarantee and not an organizational guarantee, insyaAllah.
Great.
Okay. Ada lain?
Any other questions?
Those of you who are here?
In the Zoom, yang dekat Facebook, any more questions?
Yeah, I know. Kalau ada, I'm okay. If you are okay to stay on, I can understand if you have to leave. Banyak benda, tapi nak pergi mana pun, stay home everyone.
Dia kata great, thank you for your feedback from Siri.
Hey, thank you for asking that question. Good one. We are about to start a program for our clients' sales team. Okay, and definitely this is something that we'll be sharing with all of them, and we want them to start practicing it as well.
Awesome.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So if there's no more questions from the floor and also from Facebook, I think we can call it a day. Kan? And don't forget, besok ada lagi 3 trainer akan guna power words.
Trainers kena start pakai besok. Okay, it's not about knowing, guys. It's about practice.
Yes.
Okay. Besok this trainer akan masuk observe mana power words tak guna pun.
Betul. So we have English, Spice bersama Sifu Farah, and then we have Siti, and then we have Uni. Oh, tu tengok. That will be the last session in this showcase for this whole week. So don't miss it. 10, 12, and also 3 p.m. So with that, thank you very much everyone for joining to this session. And Ismas, awesome. And for all the speakers today, memang hebat lah. Worth it every single minute. All right, with that, thank you very much. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to book your time and date.
Thank you,
bye.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
Bye.
appreciate it. Assalamualaikum. All the best. Stay safe. Stay home as much as possible, inshallah. Okay, but let's celebrate next year. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mbak Hus balik. Mbak Hus balik.
Siapa sekarang host?
No, you have to give me the host. Kata tadi nak keluar pada.
Okay. Hold on. Gila kuasa lah dia.
Kan, if you want to talk the whole day, fine, no problem. I have no issue.
Okay, there you go. Back to you, sir.
Okay, baru boleh stop.